Hey guys, I got a good one for you. So I have a coaching client who I've been going back and forth with this week around a huge epiphany she had after listening to Half Size Me podcast episode 585, which aired on April the 24th. She heard in there this conversation where I was pointing out to the person I was coaching that there was a disconnect between who she thought she was and who she actually is when it comes to food, her eating behaviors, things like that. And my client just boxered me and she goes, I get it. I didn't get to where I am with my weight because I'm who I think I am. I got here because of who I actually am, right? There's a disconnect between we want to see ourselves being the person who just has one little treat in the evening, sensible dinner, doing all these things. And maybe we lay out a perfect plan on paper, but then it keeps going awry, it keeps going astray. It's never like we expected it. And that's why so many people, me included at one point, shut down and we stop journaling. We only have breakfast and lunch journal, the rest of the day is missing, because we start to realize the person we thought we were is not who we actually are. Hence why I was 300 pounds. Not because I was eating the way a 150 pound person would eat. I was eating the way a 300 pound person would eat, right? But in my mind, it was like I didn't want to accept that. I wanted to push her away. I wanted to believe I could be this person who ate sensibly all day, including dinner, including treats, never had a binge, never did these things. But when I was finally willing to bring her in and say, okay, this is where we are. This is the reality. And my client, she even responded, she goes, I'll lay out breakfast and lunch on my journal, but I'm still so resistant to putting the 4 or 5 candy bars I'm going to have at night. She says, but I get now, by writing it on paper first thing in the morning, I take the pressure off myself. I don't have that unrealistic expectation of who I should be when I come home from work. I'm actually embracing the person that I actually am, the one who for the last couple weeks has been eating 4 or 5 candy bars every night when I come home from work. And I just want to encourage you to jump in this conversation with us and ask yourself, are you maybe sabotaging because you have an expectation of being somebody you're really not right now? And this is the cool thing. The sooner you can accept where you are, the quicker that you're going to actually be able to transform. But as long as you keep turning a blind eye to who you really are, and you're like, nope, I'm going to be the person who has the perfect day, not going to have the candy tonight, I'm just going to have 1 serving of dinner, not going to drink any alcohol. When you're living in this disillusioned reality of who you think you should be, you're not allowing the person who's actually needing the help to move through it and to do the things that would be helpful for her. Because you guys have heard, and this is, by the way, this is why when you hear me talking to somebody on the show, what I say makes perfect sense for them. But then you say, but that wouldn't work for me. Why wouldn't it work for you? Like, truly, why would any of these concepts not work for you? Other than you think somehow you're different from them. You think somehow their reality is different from your reality, or your lower brain has so much to say about what you should be able to do compared to what they can do. And I just want you to start to see this, that cloak you're living behind that says it works for them, wouldn't work for me. I hear Heather telling them, I'm going to do that too. Oh wait, no, it won't work for me. I'll overeat the cookies. Whatever the voice is saying in your head, that's part of the sabotage cycle. Because the sooner you can start to say, for the last 3 weeks, I've gotten McDonald's every single day on my way home from work. Oh, and look, I just had 5 candy bars for the last 3 nights. Guess what? That's what I'm doing right now. I'm putting that stuff on paper. I'm not going to pretend I'm not that person. Even though deep down inside, I really don't want to be that person. That's who I am right now. And if I honor her, if I make space for her, if I allow her to show up, fault and all, warts and all, and I allow her to progressively, slowly get better, that's how that new you emerges. She doesn't emerge by ignoring her and not tending to where she is right now. It's literally like if a student came in and they can't add and subtract, and I said, that's great, sweetheart. Right now we're doing equations. Jump on board. But Miss Robertson, I don't know how to add or subtract. well, I guess you're just kind of out of luck because right now we're doing equations, right? And that's kind of, it's laughable when I say it in that context, but when you do that, that's kind of what you're doing. You're like the student that comes to class, you don't have the skill set to do the perfect plan, to eat the perfect day, to just have the one sensible treat. So you don't want to write a lesson plan to support that student who's struggling. You want that student who's struggling to just jump on board and become somebody they're not right now. You've got to switch gears. You've got to honor the person you are to become the person you want to be. Not close the curtain to her and say, guess what, kiddo? Everybody else is doing algebra. With or without your addition skills, you're doing it too. And she's going to fail every single test. Ask yourself, how many tests have you failed? Because that's been your expectation. At some point, you got to get tired of that, right? But your lower brain will never let you because you're in a habit. Whenever you fail, guess what that usually means? Eating without any consequence, doing what you want, not worrying about your weight, not journaling your food. It's a quote unquote out to the process, and usually a door to eating in a way that's not helpful. But if you were to say, hey, the student can't do algebra right now. They can't add and subtract. Let's start there. Build on that, move them to the equations over time. I hope this message helps. Like I said, I love it when I see clients have these epiphanies, these breakthrough moments where they finally start to see something way clearer than they've ever seen it before. And that's what I hope that you are getting from this too. All right, guys, in order to help support us, go to halfsizeme.com/fan. You can become a podcast premium subscriber, get access to every one of our shows, extra bonuses for different coaching series like Carolina and now Sarah. So we got tons of great content, including old episodes of Heather Weighs In, everything. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.